Yeah, right.
Right. Be careful.
Oh. Hey, John, where do you guys vote?
What? You told
I'm just
me?
asking, where do you guys vote? I know next Tuesday is the primary vote, and I just wonder where do you go vote from?
I believe it. I think it's Cary Presbyterian Church. Is that right, Bob? I think it's Cary Presbyterian Church over Harrison Avenue.
No, I thought it was the one back up here on the hill, John, isn't it?
Well, isn't that the Presbyterian Church?
Yeah, but it's not on Harrison. That's on, I don't know, is it Griffiths?
Yeah.
But
You go up that way? You go
Is
up
it
here
Cary
by the
Presbyterian?
cemetery.
Close to
Yeah,
King.
you go up here by the cemetery and take the first right and go up to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
I know it's Presbyterian, but I don't think that's Harrison Avenue though.
No. It's Presbyterian Church, yeah.
Yep.
But we were voting here at Glen Eyre until the COVID thing got all messed up.
How's that new tower going?
Also, let's try to schedule it, and we'll figure out what time Beat it to the punch. Good afternoon, Cary Rotary Club. Welcome to this gorgeous Tuesday afternoon in May in North Carolina, where we can celebrate an anniversary. I learned about 35 years ago this week, Rotary first began the move towards admitting women as members. And so thank you all of the women that contribute to making this a great club. We wouldn't be the club we are without you. So thank you. There you go, Beth Hudson. With that, can I ask Mr. Jim Lovejoy to lead us in the invocation and pledge?
Yes, you can. Let us pray. Our Father, in a world where conflict often appears to be a way of life, we give thanks that as Rotarians, we can reach across so many borders to offer comfort, counsel, and service to those in need. As we lift our voices in prayer, we give thanks that we have the ability to offer our time, our talents, and our fortunes to serve our neighboring men and women. We pray for more understanding and acceptance of our differences in these unsettling times. We join in fellowship to help us better fulfill our commitment to service above self. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Mr. Lovejoy, before you sit down, can I call you up with some news to share for the club?
Well, first of all, we had a great golf tournament at Cary.
I was going to ask you about that.
We did, and our team came in tied. And I would also, if you're looking for a good partner, Ernie Faulkner is very steady. Okay, so, but the reason I'm up here is because some of you have waited a long, long time because of supply chain disruptions for shirts. Because we couldn't get fabric on the ships to make the shirts, to embroider them with our custom Rotary Club. So some of you have picked it up, but Bill Fletcher, Darren Gay, Rod Brooks, George Gordon, Bob Lyerly, Ted Straub, and Tim Duffy, your shirts are on the back table. I'd like you to take them with you and you'll be billed later. Thank you.
We got to get a good shot of all this tremendous Rotary swag that is populating our back table. Thank you, Jim, as always, for coordinating the order of all of that. We do appreciate it. And we appreciate you and Ernie and Tim and Forsum from the Raleigh Club for representing us as tied. Go team. We do have one more slot available, the Boys and Girls Home tournament on June the 6th at McGregor. We do have one slot available still on our foursome. We'll add more if there's more demand. But so you don't forget, call before midnight tomorrow. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? Renee, do you want to speak quickly about a great event coming up Thursday?
Okay, this is just a quick reminder that Thursday, about 6 o'clock, we're going to gather at Bull City Cider Works, 210 East Chatham. This is the building that once was the WPTF radio station. It's beautiful and white. I think you can see it well and find it. But we're going to be meeting there. There's a food truck available and just hang out and mix and mingle a little bit outside of Rotary. So look forward to seeing you there. And quick reminder, coming up in June, the end of the month, we will have our banquet at Prestonwood. You'll be getting details about that a little later. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Renee. And I think, Neil, you had something that you wanted to talk about that's also coming up this weekend. Let me try to get you all sounded up.
I can't get this thing to speak.
Go ahead, Neil.
All right, am I good? Can you hear me there, Bob? Okay,
I have to take you off mute to tell you that I can hear you, but yes, we can hear you.
okay, sorry about that. Anyway, just wanted to, I apologize, I couldn't make the meeting live today. Had somebody out sick at the store, so. But I wanted to remind everybody about Summer Salute coming up this Saturday. I will send an email out because today, or really last week, we opened the auction. We will be having a silent auction that's going to be both live at the event and online through Saturday evening, or through the early part of Saturday evening. So one way you can help is go and bid on those items that'll be there on that auction. There are tickets to the event available. We'll have the Embers playing Northridge Country Club Saturday night. And we're still open to taking on sponsors and have a few raffle tickets left. And I'll send out the details so that y'all can look. The raffle ticket, $100, great opportunity for everybody. But please, if you get a chance, take a look at it. Help us help Transitions Life Care make a lot of money so that they can continue to offer this end of life care to those that can't afford it. Thank you, Club. Thank you, Bob, for giving me a moment to speak.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks for coordinating that. Also upcoming on the calendar, Rod Brooks.
All right, thank you, President Bob. All right, so what I'm going to do is complete a circle for you today. You ready for that? You all know that one of the key impact areas that we as a club are committed to addressing is hunger, right? In February, we did our virtual chili dinner event, which was our 19th annual event, raised over $36,000 net. So now, having raised that money, we're going to package the meals that will be used to support school feeding programs around the world. So I am here making an announcement on behalf of Hal Jordan, who was sorry he couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to let you know that on June 11th, Saturday, June 11th, at the Kirk of Kildare Church, we're going to be packaging 100,000 meals with Rise Against Hunger that, again, will be used to support school feeding programs in more than 30 countries around the world. So again, that's Saturday, June 11th. There will be 3 shifts throughout the day. Those that are interested, there's also an opportunity on Friday night to kind of get set up, and there's an opportunity after the meal package to help them clean up. But please make a note of that on your calendar, and we hope you can join us, and look forward to making that impact. So thank you all.
Thank you, Rod. There'll be more about that later. A couple of other quick things to mention in terms of all of the service that's going on. Last week and today, I sent a link to benefit refugees from the Ukraine. Harold Bennett has spoken the last couple of meetings about his daughter's work with the families that have relocated to Sweden. And so there's a link there, an Amazon link, where they've created a gift list where you can make a contribution of specific clothing items that they are requesting. So we thank you for all of that. Scott, can I ask you to speak about
Yes.
philanthropic endeavors in another
Yes,
way?
I'd be happy to, President Bob. Thank you. This, I think, is more of a reminder for everybody. If you're not aware, Dorcas has established the Howard Manning Memorial Fund, and it was announced at Howard's service. And there's been a wonderful outpouring of gifts provided to this memorial fund. I just wanted to remind everybody that if you haven't had a chance, or if you're so inclined, there is still an opportunity to designate a gift via a check to the Howard Manning Memorial Fund. It can be mailed directly to Dorcas, or I've been notified by our charitable foundation club treasurer, Jim Lovejoy, that if you can hand it to him, he would even take it over there. But the key is that it be made out to the Howard Manning Memorial Fund and either sent or taken over to Dorcas directly. Another great opportunity for us to extend the wonderful and most beautiful legacy of that Howard Manning. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I want everyone to be aware as well that we all know that Howard had impact beyond our club. And so in collaboration with the Apex Sunrise Club and the Cary McGregor Club, along with us for the Cary Rotary Club, we'll be making a donation to that Howard Manning Memorial Fund in the amount of $2,000. So I think that's an appropriate recognition of all the contribution he made in our community. So I wanted you to all be aware of that. Last thing before we get to the important reason we're here, and that is, oh boy, now I'm in trouble because this is important too. But be aware, you've gotten probably a couple of emails already that the next district assembly will be held in 2 weeks, May 21st at Greenwood Forest Baptist Church from 9 to noon-ish. In person only, no virtual this time. So please put that on your calendar. It's a great opportunity to participate and learn about the Rotary outside our club walls. There'll also be some really good information for those of you that are interested in learning more about the Rotary Foundation and how it works. There'll be a good bit of the program that is dedicated to that purpose. So if you're free, please.
I could also mention that it's very convenient for us. We have clubs coming from as far as Lillington and Oxford to attend this. So it's a great opportunity and it's a real easy, it's a 5-minute drive from here.
Really is a blessing, isn't it? Yep. And it's a great, there's fun in it too. I mean, 3-hour meeting, it's hard to put fun in a 3-hour meeting in the same sentence, but it really is a great time to get to see everybody. So with that, are there any miracle moments that we want to share today? Bill Fletcher.
Hopefully tonight at the end of the hurricane's gonna.
That won't be a miracle.
Let's go, Canes.
I agree, but it's okay. Tonight, I have the pleasure of making the presentation at the Raleigh Parks and Recreation's annual celebration of the Fred Fletcher Volunteer Awards, which were established 20-some years ago because of my father's 54 years of service to Parks and Recreation in Raleigh, Wake County, and the state. So that's a miracle. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I can represent Dad in a good way.
Well, congratulations. What is it they say? The acorn doesn't fall far from the elm. Yes, Dorothy.
My son did get married. It happened. On the 22nd, the sun did shine, so it's a good time.
Well, congratulations to him. Rod?
Bob, I know you're going to mention this because you always do things at the end of the meeting, but I want to make a miracle moment just in honor of our club assistant treasurer, Frank Shell, who's celebrating a birthday today.
Happy birthday, Frank. And thank you, Rod. You just shortened the end of the meeting there. He gave you some more time there. Al. Anyone else with a miracle moment? Anyone in our Zoom room? All right. Well, with that, then, let me ask Scott Schneider if he'll come return to the lectern and introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, President Bob. Appreciate it. Well, this is the fun part. I'm super excited to welcome our special guest speaker for today, Alan Winstead, who is the Executive Director of Meals on Wheels, Wake County. Alan's going to be providing us with an update on their mission and the many impacts that they've provided our communities over the years. Since 1974, they have served over 10 million meals. Think about that. The agency feeds more than 1,450 people daily in the home delivered and congregate nutrition program area. And they will deliver over 405,000 meals this year through their 1,000 volunteers. Alan's primary roles are to provide board of directors support, fundraising initiatives, volunteer management, fiscal oversight of the agency's $4 million annual budget, community relations, and self-development. Certainly a full-time job. Alan has served in this role since 2006, and he has over 30 years working and volunteering in the nonprofit sector. In addition to his agency role, he also serves as the Meal on Wheels North Carolina Board of Directors as assistant past president, He previously has served on the Board of Directors for the North Carolina Association on Aging, the North Carolina Coalition on Aging, and as past president of the Rotary Club of West Raleigh. And Alan's been a Rotarian since 2007, and he's a Paul Harris Fellow. Alan earned his undergraduate degree from Washington and Lee University, as well as a graduate degree from the Divinity School at the University of Chicago. He has earned certificates from the Ann Johnson Institute of Senior Center Management and the Meals on Wheels Learning Center. Where did all this come from?
I think it came
It's
from
not what you sent me, sorry.
It came from the Cary Central Club. I don't know where they got it. Jim Stein.
Fellow Rotarians, let's give a very warm welcome to Alan.
Well, great. I'm glad you got that from somebody, because the more time you took, the less time I have to talk, but thank you. I am here today to talk about the most important question of the day, if you work anyway. What's for lunch? If you're retired, I don't know what the most important question of your day is, but what's for lunch probably ranks up there pretty high too. But before we begin, I do have some fabulous prizes I want to give away. And one of my responsibilities is volunteer management, and volunteers are critical to the success of Meals on Wheels. And so when we calculate the number of hours that folks give, and we put a dollar value on that, and we calculate the number of miles in a year that people drive their vehicles, and we give a value to that, we come up with a total of in-kind services that folks give. So I have a beautiful, it's not a Rotary Club of Cary shirt, but it is a beautiful Meals on Wheels apron, to the person who can tell me what that value is for 1 year. The number of hours and number of miles driven.
2,000.
More in dollars.
Oh, in dollars.
Yes.
Whole country,
Yes.
150,000.
More.
$1 million.
There you go.
Did you read our annual report?
Hey, wait, let me look at my teacher's edition. I have one more question. Wait, first I have to get my glasses on. I have mature eyes. And then, let's see. Oh, this will be easy. This isn't as quite a large number as 1 million, but in July of last year, how many people over 100 did we deliver meals to who lived at their home and they were 100 years old or older? Fewer.
46.
Fewer. 5. There you go, it's 6. And there. And as a random drawing, I just saw Kevin Peach's name. Kevin, we will give you another Zoom Meals on Wheels apron. Now, if I can leave it with Scott or Bob or somebody, I'm sure you can pick it up here. But there you go. Those are our fabulous prizes. But what's for lunch? You know, and we all have choices. You eat at Rotary on Tuesday, or you can come and make up at West Raleigh on Friday and eat lunch. You know, the other days you can go out to eat. You can eat leftovers from the dinner from the night before, but you have the ability to go buy food and prepare food. You have a lot of options, but there are folks right here in Cary and throughout Wake County who do not have those same options. These people are unable to either get out of their home, to get to the store, to buy food, to pay for food, or even to prepare food in their homes. And that's what Meals on Wheels fills in that gap for folks. We provide a hot, nutritious lunch to people throughout the county. We do it 2 ways. One, for people who can get out of their homes and get to a central location. We have some friendship cafes. We have 8 of those where people come, it's just like a Rotary meeting, but it's every day, and people hang out and do that. Here, you can go to Morrisville, where the Luther B. Green Center in Morrisville. You can go down to Fuquay, Garner, Raleigh has 3, and those sorts of things. So that's one thing. But our larger program, and I think the one that comes to mind when folks are think about Meals on Wheels, is where we take a lunch that is hot, ready to eat, directly to people's doors. We knock on the door and we give them the plated lunch. And we have some days we have good food, where all of our food is good. Some days I like the food better than others. Chicken and waffle day, I like. Crab cake day, I like. We had, I can't call them McRibs because that's trademarked, but we have the riblet sandwich, and that's pretty good too. So, so we have a variety of meals that we deliver to folks. And this won't surprise you at all when I tell you in March 2020, our business model changed, was turned upside down, changed dramatically. And instead of delivering that hot meal, we continued to deliver meals, but we delivered them once a week. And we delivered 7 meals a day. We did all kinds of things over the last 2 years. We delivered more food. We delivered those prepared meals folks could microwave. We partnered with restaurants, food trucks, especially when they were shut down, but they still wanted to work and they had staff to pay. So, we were taking a box of frozen meals for people that looked like, Amazon delivering healthy choice lunches. But we're also taking, some meals from Wink and Move food truck or different places like that. And that turned out well. Also during COVID, we really saw that people needed more food, different types of food. So we really, in the last 2 years, have beefed up our fresh produce. We've partnered with the Black Farmers Market. We've partnered with the farmers at the State Farmers Market. We've partnered with Interfaith Food Shuttle, and we just get produce to people who can't get out and buy that. And that's been real eventful, been very good. And so those are some things that even though we now are back to 5 days a week, we hope to continue to do that. Most recently, I think the last big thing we gave everybody tea and honey. So, everybody loves tea and honey, but that was all locally sourced, and our volunteers delivered that as they delivered the meals. And we make all of those meals at our kitchen that we do share with Interfaith Food Shuttle up by Dix Park. And where those meals we make and then the volunteers deliver them. Rather than making folks come from Cary over to Dix Park and then back to Cary, we bring all of the prepared meals. We take them here to the Resurrection Lutheran Church. So folks just drive over there, pick up their meals, go see their 10 people. It takes about an hour. It might take you 75 minutes if it's your first day and you can't figure out if you're supposed to go to the side door, the front door, or the back door. If you got a call, but anyway, we give you all of those directions. So we have 14 of those pickup sites. Again, so people don't drive. The volunteers in Morrisville pick them up in Morrisville. The people in Apex pick them up in Apex, Wake Forest. You see a pattern developing. So the volunteers do it. And every day we have between 125 and 150 volunteers who are delivering those meals. So we made it easy. We have an app, so you just download. If you like apps, you just download, and it integrates to your GPS. And it's fun for us because we think we work at UPS and we can watch where you go. And so, Tim, if you volunteer, you can't stop at Bojangles, or we'll see your car has stopped, and we'll call you. But no, we don't do that. But it just makes it easier, and then people can just put that in, make notes, and tell us where they are and if the meals have been delivered and that sort of thing. So that's very good. The meals are provided at no cost to the participants. And so for some people, that helps their budget go further, that they're able to, you know, buy other food or pay for their medicine or pay for their housing and things like that. We're able to do that because we do get some public funding. About half of our money is public funding. There's federal money, state money, and county money. And this is from the Older Americans Act, if you are like a student of federal policy and federal legislation. But again, the thinking goes back to, for Meals on Wheels, goes back to 1972, thinking that if folks have more food and eat better, then we pay up front instead of paying on the back end with Medicare and Medicaid. So that's good, but that's not enough. That doesn't surprise you either about public funding. So we do fundraising here on the local level, on the national level. Everything from auctions, Facebook birthdays. We haven't had events in 3 years, or in-person live events in 3 years. So we've been good for that. But this community, that's not a surprise, much like this club, is very generous. And so we have been very fortunate to secure money. And I will tell you, let me count. December 2020, when Mackenzie Scott gave out $4 billion of her divorce settlement in Amazon stock, she gave out $4 billion. She didn't give it out. She did give Meals on Wheels Wake County $1.5 million, which was the largest single gift that we've gotten. So we are very excited about that. That's how we've been able to continue to do some of these innovative programs that we've been doing. So we thank her for that. That is not a plug for Amazon or a plug for divorce. That's just you know, so people ask, well, who can get Meals on Wheels? You know, and it's pretty simple. You know, we really ask that folks we call it homebound or they need it. And we do that just through some real quick assessments. If you get to be a certain age, and I know this for a fact now, you know, at the doctor, they'll ask you some questions about your ability to do activities of daily living and instrumental activities of daily living. If there are any gerontologists in the room, I will let him or her stand up and explain that. But those are just some simple questions and a real short nutrition assessment. And I can tell you, you know, most people just don't sit at home and think, oh, well, you know, I need somebody to bring me some lunch, so we'll call Meals on Wheels, especially now that Uber Eats can deliver food to them. You know, so again, folks are unable to really get out, buy food, and prepare food for us, and that's good. We get referrals from a variety of places. You know, we're working with hospitals as they're discharging patients. We work with Center for Volunteer Caregiving. Some of their people that they work with, they'll say, hey, you know, look, we know these people could use meals. We're doing, this is our 3rd year of collaborating with Transitions Life Care, part of their palliative care, where they're working with some folks in that thing, and then we're providing a meal to them. We work with Wake County Human Services, United Way. If you call 211, you can get referrals from us. You can go to our website. We do get, you know, folks who've been volunteers, or if we've been visible in their faith community, you know, through our reputation. You know, people just self-refer, or their neighbors will refer them. You know, and so we get folks that way as well. Maybe, I don't know, ABC 11 was at the office when I left today. And so if we're on ABC 11 News tonight or tomorrow, then we'll have an uptick in folks who call us that way. So it's all good. So that's the who, the what, the when, the why, you know, and the food is important. I mean, I like to eat. I'm pretty sure that's a unanimous sentiment in this room. You know, so the food is important, Meals on Wheels is more than a meal as well. You know, I think Renee was telling me about when she delivered with her friend in Lexington, South Carolina, you know, and one of the things is really just the socialization. You know, having somebody knock on the door, talking to them and asking about them and things like that. I think we all experienced that a little bit, you know, when we stayed at home early on in COVID. You know, we got a sense of how that feels. But as we're taking those meals, those volunteers are saying, hey, you know, and if you do it over time, you know, you really get to know people, even if it's in 3 or 4 minute conversations. And those are strong relationships. But the other thing that we're doing is volunteers are going every day to somebody's home. You know, and they're just you don't have to have special training, but if somebody doesn't answer the door, that could be a red flag. So let us know. You know, you get up to somebody's porch and your foot almost goes through the front porch, you know, let us know. We might call your Rotary Club back and see if you can help build a porch, but let us know. You know, you go and it's in the summertime and the house is 98 degrees, you know, that's something that because you're there and nobody else has been there, you're able to make us aware of those things. We have 3 people on our staff that's their job, to just work with all of our participants to see, you know, if they have those needs, how we can do it. Meals on Wheels just provides food, but we have those resources and connections in the community. And that's the 4th thing that we do is, you know, we help navigate that. If people need rides, we call the Center for Volunteer Caregiving. You know, we've worked with MedAssist this spring to get folks some over-the-counter things that they need, like in a first aid kit. Last year, we worked with Wake County Public Health for people who need COVID vaccines and were unable to get to their doctor, their pharmacist, or anything like that. We arranged to get them some appointments in their home so they could be vaccinated. So we're there to be advocates for those people. And that's probably, if I have to look in the future, that's the place where I see the biggest changes coming to Meals on Wheels. Is we'd like to strengthen those relationships with healthcare providers and healthcare payers. Again, I'm not a trained medical person, but you know, but in that world, they are beginning to talk about social determinants of health, where you know it's just not when you go to the doctor that's where healthcare happens, but people need those surrounding supports. They need to eat, they need to have transportation, they need to have access to their medicine and those sorts of things. And so we're beginning to see some interest in that with both the providers and with the payers. Some Medicare Advantage plans. You probably saw, I did see JJ Walker, because when I was a kid, he was on TV, but he's getting Medicare now. You know, but that's when they're talking about you can get some meals. That particular healthcare plan is paying for food. Again, because when people eat better, then we hope they have better health outcomes. We did piloted in 2019. We did work with Aetna there, and they gave us some money, and we delivered food to some of the insured patients insured by Aetna. And we communicated directly with, you know, their case managers there. Again, we did what we've asked our volunteers to do. When we went to folks' home, we were able to immediately see any changes or alert something to the case managers. And if the person, you know, had a fever, then they could determine if they sent a nurse out or some things like that. Again, all of these things, doing that. And there is sophisticated research to show by doing those less expensive interventions, then you reduce the ultimate Medicare and Medicaid coverage at the end. And since we're all taxpayers, keeping Medicare and Medicaid expenses down is a good thing, if people are still being healthy. So, you know, It's fun. The people are good. Our volunteers are awesome. Our participants are awesome. You know, and why do we do all of this? I mean, because, and it does matter. We know it matters. People tell us. We've had national research that we've participated in, but we know three things: that people who get Meals on Wheels, they do eat better. They have, and they eat more. And so that's a good thing. If having somebody knock on their door makes people feel safer living at home, if that's important. Living at home is a much less expensive option than living in an assisted living facility or something like that. And it's what people want to do. And that would be the third thing, that folks do live independently. I don't know, it's been a few years ago, but you know, in a nonprofit, we do all kinds of things. So I just happened to answer the phone that day. And you know, the lady, she was very nice. She said, "Love Meals on Wheels, but I'm moving out of my home and I am moving to assisted living." You know, well, that's not the customer satisfaction that we want. You know, there's not a lot to say. So I said, well, if something changes, let us know. And she just matter of factly said, she said, "Honey, I'm 104. I don't think I'm coming home." So we don't guarantee that sort of longevity, but it does happen. And so we know it matters. The community helps us play a role, and I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your attention. And Scott, I have 2 minutes for questions. Is that it?
Alan,
Yes, sir.
what's the average number of meals that the volunteer serves?
So it takes about an hour. And that's a little bit differently. So in Raleigh, if you go to those Glenwood Towers senior apartments there on Glenwood across from Vidrio and the Carolina Ale House, we might load you down. You might take 12 because you're just taking a Domino's pizza bag and you're riding up and down an elevator. If you're going down here in Apex and you got to go down Old US 1, you know, and you've got drive time between all of that, we're still only going to ask you to do it for about an hour. So you may go to fewer. You'll have more drive time and fewer stops. So you may just have 6 or 8 stops. We do that for 2 reasons. One, because we are mindful of folks' time in the middle of the day. And then 2, we also want to keep the meals hot. And so we don't want you driving from Cary to Zebulon and delivering meals, because you've got a lot of drive time and the meals just won't stay hot. And that is the thing that folks do deliver. Right.
I'm sorry if I missed this, but how many meals do you serve a year?
So it's about 405,000 is what we served last year in Cary, Raleigh, Wake County.
Say whether you get government funding or not?
Yeah, so about half of our money is public funding. The federal dollars come through what's called the Older Americans Act. So it has nothing to do with USDA or food per se, but that was part of all of that legislation from the late 60s and early 70s, where Medicare and they really were supporting senior adults, again, to improve the quality of life and to impact better health. And so the federal money comes to the state if the state will provide a required match. And I will say, sometimes what goes on in Jones Street amazes me, but we are very fortunate that the state in the last 20 years has always exceeded that required match. Again, you know, as public policy, that they're putting money into these preventions rather than on the other end. And then in North Carolina, they split it up by county, and then our county commissioners provide a small local match. But for them, we tell them, you know, you give us, you know, you invest $150,000 and we're going to bring $1.5 million back in the state and federal dollars. So I'll give anybody a dollar if they'll give me $10 back. But that's just me.
Now.
Yes, sir.
I know that the big fundraiser used to be the gala.
Yes.
What are you going to return with the gala?
So we're trying to decide that, and maybe, and I'm driving over here, I thought, well, I need to call Susan Alexander and see if she wants to get back with that. So it's not, we didn't do it this spring, again, just because we don't know. So it'll be next spring, I hope. And so we're working on it.
I'm assuming this is a national, or the Meals on Wheels is a national organization.
So, right. Again, the federal dollars are available throughout the entire country. They're available and some to, I don't know the official name, to American Indians, tribes, indigenous people. So yeah, so that money is available, and there is a network. We are, I'm trying to think. And there is a national organization, Meals on Wheels America, that they do some things. They do some advocacy work and some training. We're not as structured as like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the YW, YMCAs, you know, where there's that. But yes, the same thing. If you have an aunt who lives in Albany, yeah, there's a Meals on Wheels program in Albany. If you have an uncle who lives in Brevard, there's a Meals on Wheels in Transylvania.
Is it need-based for people that receive it, or is anybody that asks?
So the need is not income driven. The need is the assessments on your physical ability. And folks, some people, right, and people who can't afford, we give them the option that they can pay $4.75 for a meal, and they do that. I mean, you know, and you know, we had one lady who's she paid for her dad's meals because she lives in Memphis. Her dad lives here. Her dad moved to Memphis, you know, and so it's worth it. One, that she knows he gets a hot lunch. And then two, she knows that if he doesn't answer the door, we're calling her and she can put her backup plan in action. So it's worth it.
And is it 365 days a year?
So what we do, we deliver 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. On the Fridays, we're delivering more food so they can do it. And so on the holidays, I tell you, we work with some community partners, especially, and don't ask me this because they tell me and I forget, but like the Raleigh Rescue Mission on Thanksgiving and at Christmas, they do such an amazing job. They deliver to our folks. So again, you know, while we don't deliver those, we help connect our people with that. Great. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thing in these is just appreciation is from John and Jerry.
Okay, great. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Really appreciate all the difference you all are making in the community. Just out of curiosity, in the room, how many people either are now or have in the past done work with Meals on Wheels? Quite a bit. So thank you for sharing all of that. Kevin Peach has put his foot in it and told his wife that he wanted an apron. And so I will let you counsel him on how he needs to deal with that. But we do appreciate you being here. We already heard that today is a very special day in the life of Frank Shaw. So happy birthday, Frank. But it is also, this week, we celebrate another important anniversary. Ms. Roz Royster, on the 15th of May, will be 4 years with the Cary Rotary Club. So congratulations, Roz. Well, I'm in February, but we're close. Next week, our programs, Paul Sossman has arranged to have Tim Farless, who's with State Farm, come to us and talk about eliminating household hazards in the home. I guess that would be, by definition, wouldn't it? Hazards in the household. What's for lunch? Alan, we're having spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread and green beans for lunch next week. In 2 weeks, Tony Withers, which is a name you'll recognize, will be with us to talk about the Miracle League. So we look forward to that program. I do want to mention brownies this week, Bruce. But they're outside for the group that's running the blood drive. So if anybody is so inclined, apparently they still have space available if you'd like to donate blood and take a brownie on your way out. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks for a tremendous program. Appreciate all of your support. I want to thank everyone that contributed to our meeting today. Scott, Jim, Tim, Aiden, and of course, Alan for his great program. Can I ask Mr. Bill Fletcher to lead us out on the four-way test?
Join me, please, in the things, in the four-way test, the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Good to see you again, sir.
We'll allow that. We'll allow that.